What's up guys? Today's video is going to be all about American school. So this video has been requested I think 3 or 4 times, and I have just, whenever I have time to film a video, I have always felt like I had to film a monthly update because that month was like finished. So now I finally have time to make the videos that aren't monthly updates. So sorry to everyone who requested a long time ago that I make a video about American school, but I'm finally getting onto it. So the first thing you need to know about American school is that it starts early. My school starts at 7:30, which is really early compared to my New Zealand school, which started at 8:45. And usually I catch the bus, so we have to be out of the house and driving to the bus stop by 6:40. And at 6:40 it is still dark, so it is super hard to get up in the morning. Speaking of busing, the school buses in America look exactly like they do on movies. They are those yellow buses, which is crazy to me because I'd only ever seen those buses in movies, and the school buses in New Zealand just kind of look like charter buses. They are not really special for schools. It was so funny when I first got on the bus and I realized how high the ceiling was of American buses. In New Zealand buses, if the bus driver goes over like a bump super fast, you could like bounce up and hit your head on the roof. They also have seat belts on American school buses, and I think someone told me that it was the law that you have to wear them, but I got told that like a week ago and nobody wears their seatbelts on the school bus. A school day at my school has 7 periods, and then you can take an 8th period class, but there aren't that many. I take 8th period performance dance, and 8th period classes are voluntary, so you absolutely do not have to take more than 7 periods, and actually one of those 7 periods is lunch. So you have 6 classes a day typically, or 7 if you take an 8th period class, or even 8 if you take a 0 period, which means you get there at 6:30, which no thanks. Something that actually surprised me when I first came to school in America was that they don't say the pledge at all. Maybe that's just my school, but I've never heard anyone say the Pledge of Allegiance. And from what I had seen from movies, they say it every day. Something else that I had like a crazy expectation about was the football games. And in movies, they're always like blown way out of proportion. Everyone goes to them. But maybe it's just my school because our sports teams are really not good and they just lose all the time. But the football game I went to was really not that interesting. It was more like a social event where people would walk around and talk to their friends. You have to pay $5 to get in, so you're paying $5 to like hang out with your friends. Not as interesting as it was like made out to be. Another thing that is a stereotype of American schools but is actually true is cheerleaders wearing their outfit to school. So the cheerleaders at my school don't wear them like every day, they only really wear them on game days, but they are super short skirts, and I don't know how they can get away with it because it's against the dress code to wear skirts like that, and if anyone else wore a skirt that was that short, they would get dress coded, but the cheerleaders like walk around and you can see their butt hanging out. And that's fine. The dress code at my school is actually super relaxed. I could wear a shirt like this to school and I'll be fine. And you can wear shorts, and they don't really say anything about the length of your shorts unless they're like super short and you can see your butt. I got told that a couple years ago you weren't allowed to wear leggings, but then last year they had this petition and like protest, so now you're allowed to wear leggings to school. You're supposed to wear a long shirt so it covers your butt, but you can get away with wearing leggings without a long shirt and no one really says anything. The cafeteria is another interesting thing about American schools. My New Zealand school did not have anywhere you could sit inside and eat your food. We had to stay outside, rain or shine. So it is so great that if it's raining at school, we can go and sit in the cafeteria. Most of the school here, if it's sunny, will sit outside on benches and stuff like that. And then if it's raining, the cafeteria is like packed with people. I don't actually buy school lunches from the cafeteria. I make lunch at home and bring it to school. But at my school, the lunches are actually super good. They recently changed the whole meal program, so it's all pretty healthy stuff. The hot food changes every day. Some days it's like enchiladas or burritos or hot dogs or like burgers and that kind of thing. And then there's also a salad bar where you can make your own salad, and that is super good. I've had that a couple of times. They also sell pizza, but they make it, and it's made on a sourdough base, so it's actually super good. And they also have a make your own sandwich bar, and sometimes they have stuff like big pretzels with mac and cheese and interesting stuff like that. Each meal you buy costs $3.50, and it also comes with a little carton of like chocolate milk or plain milk, and then a piece of fruit. And I think that's really a reasonable price if you have to buy your lunch every day. School spirit is a huge thing at American schools, And so on Fridays, which are usually game days for football, a lot of people will dress up in the school colours. My school colours are blue and gold, and so that's super fun. And actually my drama teacher offers extra credit for if we wear blue and gold on Fridays, so you can get 2 points of extra credit for each Friday that you wear blue and gold. Right before any dance, like homecoming or we've had a Sadie Hawkins dance, there is this thing called Spirit Week, and for that whole week, Monday to Friday, each day is a different like dress up thing. Like before homecoming, I think Monday was tacky tourist, Tuesday was like camo or something, Wednesday they had like mismatched, and then Thursday was like squad day, and Friday was like, I think it was pink and seniors wore togas. So it's a really fun way to like show school spirit, and you get to dress up like funny things, so that's fun too. So homework. American classes tend to give you homework every night, especially maths. I was in geometry for about 4 weeks, and you would get math questions to do every night, and I decided that I just had already done geometry a couple years ago and I didn't want to be doing geometry homework every night, so I actually was able to drop maths, so I don't have a maths class. If I was taking a history class, I would have history homework every night. If I was taking an English class, I would often have English homework. So yeah, you'll probably have a lot of homework unless you find a way to get out of your academic classes like I have. The only class I really get scheduled homework in is psychology, because we have to write notes on all the questions in the chapters, but that's not too difficult and I enjoy psychology, so I don't find that too bad. The other classes I take are drama and dance, and we do have homework in that, like drama I have to memorize scenes and stuff like that, but when it's classes you enjoy, it doesn't really matter that much. Something else I like about American schools is that they have a yearbook, and I think it's in the first quarter you get your yearbook photo taken and you get to give a quote for the yearbook. The yearbook at my school was $85, which is crazy, but memories. But it is definitely an American thing that I wanted, so I went and bought it. A lot of people I know don't buy the yearbooks, so maybe that's why they're so expensive, because they have to put a lot of work into it, and some people don't buy it because it's so expensive. Something I found out about Americans is that if you sneeze, even if they don't know you, they'll say bless you. I could be like in the supermarket and someone from like the next aisle could hear me sneeze and then they'll be like, bless you. Crazy. They have like a automatic bless you reaction to sneezing, which I think is nice. I don't know if it's just my school, but we don't have a study hall. I know American movies are not real life, but in all the ones I've seen, they have study halls in like first period or something like that, and they like do homework. No one at my school had really even heard of a study hall. I don't know, we just have classes. So someone also asked me if I could talk about how American school compares to NCEA at New Zealand school. So I would say that NCEA is a lot more structured than the American system. In America, your teacher can just assign you random projects or homework and stuff like that, and you get points based on that, and then your grade for the class is based on how many points you get. But in New Zealand, you have like different projects to work towards. Like in level 3 English, you have your speech, which is worth 3 credits I think, and you have your portfolio, which is worth 6 credits, and then you have your connections report, which is worth 4 I think. So everything that you do is working towards these standards that are the same every year and for every level 3 English class. Whereas with American schools, your teacher could assign you a project that's worth like 50 points, or she could just give you a lot of 3-point ones. It really depends on the teacher you have, and I think it's a lot harder when it's not as structured, because at the start of the year you could be like, I don't want to do this essay, it's only 2 points, I'm not going to do it, and then at the end of the year you could be like 2 points off passing English. Whereas if you don't write a practice essay in English in New Zealand, they'll like get mad at you, but it won't like really affect your grade because it's the final piece that gets graded. I personally just like knowing exactly what I'm working towards, and I think that's easier for me rather than not knowing whether or not your project is really worth that much. I don't know if any of that makes sense. I was kind of just blabbing. I don't prepare scripts, I just kind of write down points that I need to cover and hope that I get there. Someone also asked me how easy it is to make friends at American schools, and to that I would say Americans are really friendly, and they especially like people with accents, so they're going to talk to you. The thing that's difficult is getting from like kind of friends to good friends, because I've noticed that in America everyone will say that they like everyone, but sometimes they're like pretending, and so if they hate someone they will pretend to like them just to like avoid drama. And growing up, that's not been my experience. If you don't like someone in New Zealand, you just kind of like avoid them and you don't make it seem like you do. so it's kind of difficult to know in America whether people like you or not. In saying that though, everyone is super nice, and it doesn't even matter if everyone likes you, because as long as you have a group of people you can hang out with, you will have a really fun time. But I definitely wouldn't be afraid coming on exchange that you won't be able to make friends, because you definitely will be able to. Alright, so that's all I have for this video about American schools. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. If you have any questions about an exchange, or if you want to request I make a video, please leave a comment below and I will add it to my list. If you would like to contact me personally to talk about an exchange or ask me questions, that sort of thing, I am available on all my social medias. My Snapchat's deannahayley, my Instagram's deannahayley, and you can also leave a comment on YouTube and I will definitely reply to it. I try to reply to all of the YouTube comments. Also, I am 100% down if anyone wants to message me and have a conversation about exchange if they have a bunch of questions they need to ask me. A lot of people that have done that are always like, oh, I'm so sorry for all the questions, I don't mean to bother you, stuff like that. I really don't mind. I enjoy talking to you guys, so if you want to message me, go for it. I will definitely reply. As always, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Number 7, if your parents outright say no, that you can't go on exchange, ask them their reasons why and write them down so that you can research their concerns. It's actually really cold outside and I'm wearing a singlet.